All right, here we go. Sara Molina, welcome back to VladTV.
Hi, Vlad.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been some time.
It's been some time. You know, we had a very interesting interview last time.
Yeah, thank you for that.
We'll talk about all that. But, you know, let's go ahead and get caught up in terms of what's happened since last time. Well, first of all, I had read on TMZ that you went to Colombia
Mm-hmm.
to get a bunch of plastic surgery, I guess?
A bunch? What's a bunch?
Well, like a mommy makeover. Isn't that considered a bunch?
Oh, I just did a little bit of lipo, added the fat to some places, and that was it.
Okay.
To one place. I didn't do breasts. I didn't do nothing crazy.
Ah, okay. When I hear
Besides
mommy
get
makeover,
surgery.
I assume it's like everything.
No, everything is, for me personally, would be like breasts, tummy tuck, all of that. I didn't do any of that. Just got a little bit of lipo and put some in my butt. That's it.
Okay. Why Colombia? Why not go to Dr. Miami or someplace in New York closer to home?
For the women that do their research, you can, like, it's a given. Out of the country surgery, you get more for what you pay for it. But disregard the price. They just do more of a job, like more of a snatch to your waist, to whatever you want than what they would do in the States, because the risk factor of it. Some women are open to it. Some women have no fear in their heart at all to do that type of thing or, you know, be extreme with it. My case was, I did my research. I wanted my body a certain way, and that's where I decided to go. But I'm going to be completely honest. I, like, underestimated the whole ideal of surgery, everything. I underestimated what I was going to go through, what my body was going to go through, how I was going to wake up. So I understand why, you know, out of the country surgery is a lot more dangerous because the extra mile that they go to give these women these figures.
So can you share about how much you spent for the whole procedure?
A little over $8,000.
Okay, that's not that much.
Yeah, it's fairly good since it's, you know, the procedure that I would get done, if I was to get it done in the States, would run me about $15,000.
Okay, so like half price.
Yeah. But then again, that's why a lot of the women go out of the country too, because it's more affordable.
Right, but then you still have to pay for the flights, the hotels, and stuff like that.
Some of those
right?
things be all inclusive, like packages. Since surgery is such a big thing, like they're already 10 steps ahead. They'll include all that extra stuff within the surgery and all of that.
Okay, and one of the procedures that you got done, was it a BBL?
Yeah.
Okay, which is short for Brazilian butt lift. Now, based on articles I've seen, it says that this is the most dangerous cosmetic surgery that you could get.
Depending on how far, it depends on the person, really. How much work are they getting done? How far are they pushing the surgeons to get this look? Like, it's not, in all cases, so dangerous. It is, any type of surgery is dangerous regardless, but it's just like the extreme that these women want to go to have a big ass or a small waist. They're pushing these doctors, and these doctors don't want to turn away these women because they come out of the country, or it's a money thing, or they just genuinely want to give these women what they ask for, that they push these doctors to do something that's close to nearly impossible, that's going to risk their life.
Right, and because you hear some extreme cases, like Kanye's mother died getting plastic surgery. I remember I interviewed Usher's ex-wife, and she went to Brazil, and she had a stroke in the middle of her surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, so these are serious procedures, and when you do go out of the country, it is cheaper, but it is a little more dangerous because you don't have the medical standards in Colombia that you may have in America.
Just, like, it depends on the person as well. Usher's ex-wife is old. Of course, she's going to probably catch a stroke due to her age getting, like surgery. Like, it depends on the person and how their body reacts too. I'm not downplaying surgery at all, but like I said, everybody's body reacts differently. Some people wake up, some people don't, depending. And you can have the same dosage as the next girl of anesthesia and stuff like that. It depends on your body.
Okay, so you go to Colombia, you get the procedure. When you wake up, how do you feel?
I'm gonna be completely honest. Waking up for me, like those memories are still blurry because I was so high on whatever they gave me. So I was the last person to get surgery. When I went in initially, there's a whole bunch of girls coming out from surgery. So I'm seeing them all fucked up. I'm like, oh my God. And they look out of it. I stood in the same recovery home as Kimbella, and she went in. Me and her went the same month to get our surgeries. She went in ahead of me. So as I'm going in, she's coming out. And I'm seeing her. She's all bright-eyed. Like, she's, oh, hi. I'm like, yo, this bitch just got her body opened up. And she's saying hi to me. I'm walking in. Like, that's why I downplayed it. Because I'm seeing all these other girls who've had previous surgeries. This is my first time getting anything done. So I'm like, oh, they're good. This ain't gonna be nothing too crazy. I woke up, I went into surgery maybe around like 3 o'clock. I didn't wake up out of that hospital room on a table or a bed until like 1 o'clock at night. They said that they had me heavily sedated and I wouldn't wake up. So when I did wake up, it's so blurry to me, but I woke up, all the lights in the rooms were off. I was completely in the dark. I was cold. And I didn't have my phone on me, so I'm yelling, get me my phone. Where's my phone? Somebody. I'm thinking they left me in the hospital by myself. And I left out the hospital maybe like 30 minutes after. And it was maybe like 1:45 in the morning that I was leaving the hospital on my way to the recovery home.
Okay, so you go through the procedure, but from what I understand, there are some complications.
Yeah, so before I had my surgery, my surgeon, he asked me, he was like, there's I have MS, and I didn't do much research before going to get the surgery on how it would affect my body. So he asked me, because he was privy to the fact that I had MS. I disclosed all of that with him. He was like, look, because of your MS, I don't know how this type of pain is going to affect your body. What we have is a pain pump, which basically I think is an IV, is a pump, like a little satchel that you walk around with, and they put the IV from the bag into your back, and whenever you feel like some intense pain, you'll pump it, and it'll pump like morphine, I think. So that completely gave me a MS flare-up. I had it for a day, and it brought down my blood levels. My iron was low. They were telling me I might need 2 blood transfusions if I didn't get my hemo up. So it was that completely like fucked me up. It had nothing to do with the surgery. I want to disclose that because I had a good surgeon and I had a beautiful recovery home. All the nurses, it wasn't because of the surgery that complication happened. That I saw it all over World Star Latin and stuff like that, that I got botched up. That's not what happened. My body had an MS flare-up due to the pain pump that was in my lower back.
Okay. I mean, was it really painful, though, coming out of that?
To be honest, I regret going on the pain pump because I don't think it would have been as bad. I think that it triggered an MS flare-up, and my body was just so fucked up after that, like, besides the surgery, that had I not had that pain pump, I don't think it would have been bad because of that pain pump, I was throwing up. I wasn't able to eat. I was constipated. It was just so much stuff going on. I couldn't sleep. My body was on fire. It was just a lot. And I felt like it was because of the pain pump that happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, morphine, that's essentially the top of the ladder when it comes to heavy drugs. Like, they give that to people like in hospice, people that are dying and there's no other, chance of them recovering. It's like, here, have some morphine and just live out your final days high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they give you the morphine, that means there's nothing else that'll work. So yeah.
So yeah, I was in all that pain off the pump afterwards too. They were scared to give me anything because of how my body reacted because of the morphine. All they were giving me was ibuprofen.
Ah, okay, which is over the counter.
Yeah, like imagine getting hit by a car and all a doctor is giving you is ibuprofen.
Okay. Well, how long ago was the operation? Like, what was the date?
It was April 28th.
Okay. May, June. So this is 2.5 months or so?
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you now?
I'm good. You know, my body's still healing. My body's still not gonna look this way. I'm still swollen. I'm not fully healed, so it takes about 6 months to see like real results. So
what was really the reason to get the plastic surgery?
Why not?
Okay.
Did it because I wanted to.
And there you go. And there you go. Was there any other... Okay, so this is your first time getting plastic surgery. Have you got any other work done of any sort?
I had lip fillers once. That was it.
Okay. Okay. Do you think you're done at this point? Or do you...
I'm content with how I look.
Okay. And then what, in 6 months, that's when everything is done. I guess that's when you'll debut everything and so forth?
Maybe.
Okay.
I just been low-key, at least trying to be. So, who knows? Maybe in 6 months, I still might not post.
I feel you. Well, listen, if it makes you happy, you only have one body in this life. However you want to work it out, that is completely your choice. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you're okay. Because, like I said, I've heard some bad stories and so forth about this type of thing.
Thank you.
Well, last time we talked, Tekashi was still locked up and awaiting his trial. But since that time, he went through his trial. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was an article that basically said that they wanted to take your daughter to court as a prop. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that happened later on in the year. I spoke to you the beginning of the year. Yeah.
So explain, what does that mean? Did he just want to have his daughter there to make it look like he's a good father and possibly help out with his trial?
At that time, like I said, since the time he was locked up until that point, we had no communication. Like, make it so simple. We had no communication, and the one call that we did get after like a whole year was his mom saying that he's gonna get sentenced on Wednesday and if she can see the baby. That's it. If she can have the baby go with them to court.
And you said no?
Of course.
Okay, and why is that?
Where was this call the beginning of the year or right after he got locked up? You know, like, that's where I'm gonna leave it at.
Okay. But, during this time, and you could tell what happened after he came out, and I remember having conversations with people about this, is that during this time, his album was still getting streamed and everything else like that. So his money, it's not like he was broke while he was locked up. He was making money. Was he financially helping out while he was locked up in terms of the baby?
No.
And why is that?
I don't know. Maybe you should interview him and ask him. I don't know.
Okay. Why not take him to court and get what you're rightfully supposed to get?
I've tried to. This is the thing. When people hear me on the internet speak or whatever, the first thing they want to do is, go to child support. I have many of times. Like, I don't do this on the internet for fun, or sometimes I do get in my emotions and I do speak on things that most people don't care about, but I don't care. So it's just like, I've tried many of times. And if it was something that that happened, I wouldn't be on the internet speaking about it, when someone wants to act like they know my life more than me. I've tried many of times, and anytime I've gone to follow up, I'm going to tell you how many times I filed for child support. Maybe three times I tried. 3.
Okay, well, I guess the part that doesn't make sense to me is that it's not like Tekashi is some criminal who doesn't have any legal money and, you can't track down his net worth. I mean, he is a regular tax-paying citizen. He has record deals.
I think, no, he's not just a regular tax-paying citizen. He is, he's government property. That's how I see him. I see him as government property. I see him as someone that's always going to be good no matter what type of trouble he gets into, at this point. So it's just like things like child support and stuff like that can easily get lost in the system or whatever at his benefit, I don't know how that works. I don't know how I can bring myself to a child support office 3 times and still get nowhere. Or they give me a stupid excuse, or they don't know where my case file went. It's just like, at this point, I know it's not them. Things happen, though.
So you think it's some sort of government conspiracy where he's being protected?
No, I just think that he's
support?
Very good at dodging child support. That's just what it is.
Okay, but I mean, like, I've gone through the legal system. I've gone through lawsuits on both sides. And when it comes to lawsuits and collecting your money, as long as the person has an income stream, you could actually attach what you owe to the person who pays him. So the record label that he's signed to, and that they're paying him money. So all you have to do is go to the record label.
Listen, I've had Aaliyah Grange's number. I've had their numbers. I've still have their numbers. But like I said, I've tried to go about it a certain way, even went to the courts 3 times. It's always something.
I mean, it sounds to me like if you get the right lawyer, they could just make it happen. I know as an individual, it's hard to deal. This is why we hire lawyers. We can't deal with all this legal stuff. I mean, there's too much for a person to deal with. But if you get the right lawyer, they know exactly how to navigate it. I mean, that's my suggestion, because it makes no sense. Okay, look, when it comes to, the romantic relationship did not work out. You guys went your separate ways. If he makes a bunch of money, he doesn't owe you anything. But when it comes to children, that's a whole different thing. Like, even when couples get divorced and they have a prenup, that prenup never applies to child support, right? That's just not legal, right? A child based on the father's income, that child deserves a certain amount of money to match the lifestyle of the father. And I really hate shit like this when it happens, where it's like, especially someone who's got money, I can imagine if you're just broke and you got 10 children, you don't have enough to go around. Okay, I get it. But when you actually have money and you're showing off your jewelry and your Lamborghinis and your Ferraris and all that, and you're not giving your firstborn anything, it's just, to me, it's just kind of disgusting.
Does that surprise you from him?
Well, yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but at the end of the day, he still lives in America, and there's still a legal system that he has to abide by. You see what I'm saying?
Does he look like somebody that follows rules?
Well, it's not really his choice. Like, you could choose, Wesley Snipes chose not to follow the rules too and not pay taxes, and he ultimately went to prison for not paying taxes.
All right, but he's a person that thinks that is held to no consequence, I think, in any situation. So he always finds a way to weasel out of something. Okay.
Well, I hope it works out. I hope that at some point, if maybe some lawyers are listening right now, that they'll, come on board and take on your case, because you could only dodge reality for so long until it catches up to you in America. Now, if you want to move to some other country, then I could see how you could dodge it. But if you're living in America, you're getting income and you're paying taxes, and you have a legal income stream, then that means that they could attach whatever money that is owed to that income stream. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it works. This is how people have to end up paying when they don't want to pay. You could choose not to pay and you could choose to ignore it. But at the end of the day, a lawyer could say, look, if you owe $100,000, then all you have to do is go to who pays him his money every month, whether it's the publishing company or the record company or whatever else, and say, moving forward, here's a legal document that says that whatever money you're supposed to pay to him first has to come to us until this money is paid off. And then after that, you could have your money. That's just how it works. So, hopefully you could get it worked out at some point, because it seems like you're owed quite a bit. And I mean, not you're owed, but your daughter is owed quite a bit. That's my take. How was it emotionally going through that trial and just seeing every day something comes out and like the audio leaks and everything else like that?
Honestly, I think the worst part about the trial was just like, it was something new every day. So it's like, I'm like, damn, this was my life and I didn't even know half the shit was going on around me, So it's just like, and the shit that I did know is just like, wasn't really spoken on too much. So it's just like, yeah, I was just taking it in. I think I was like, more so, you got to think about it. Because, I'm going to go there. The last time I spoke to you, I looked so worn down. I watched that whole interview recently, and I'm like, oh my God, why the fuck did I do this interview at this time? Because at that time, it's just like, I was all over the place. I wasn't making the best decisions. I was coming out of something that was just overall abusive, but it was my life. I was like, it was hard for me to detach myself from the situations and what just happened to the point where it was showing. And I just like, I don't regret sitting down and talking to you. It happened. It is what it is. But I regret not giving myself a fucking year to like crawl under a rock and reevaluate myself, or like what that whole year was going to be for me or for my daughter. I should have given myself time, because I was coming out of something. Besides, overall, I was coming out of something 7 years, and then I was coming out of a whole year of events that happened within fame, money, everything that he accomplished, women, the gang stuff, all of it. So it's just like, I felt when I was speaking to you, I was so desensitized, and I was like, I didn't give myself time to feel any of what I just went through, or that trauma or whatever, and I spoke on it too soon.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. I mean, it was a rough time. It was a rough time, and it got rougher as the months progressed after that, because then the whole world was basically tuned into this trial. When you ultimately saw the people around him get these football numbers, and it really was football numbers. I mean, 20 years here, 15 years there, 25 years there, and so forth. How did you feel? And these were people that you hung around a little bit, during that time.
I think it's sad, because at the end of the day, like, these people had families, and like, essentially them doing the things that got them locked up, they did it off his word. So that sucks for them. I feel like, in a way, he says he was manipulated. He definitely manipulated these grown men to make the decisions that they made, knowing that they have families. So I just think the situation overall was just a sad situation for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately everyone played a role in this. I don't feel that anyone was really a victim in this, because these were all grown men. I don't think it was any surprise that, to any of those guys, who were running, involved in a gang, to think that you're going to get this kid who had nothing to do with this lifestyle at all, and think that he's going to somehow, stand firm and have the same type of principles that they had. I don't think that was a surprise to anybody. In terms of him getting in over his head, I don't think that's a surprise either. He goes and hooks up with a bunch of guys he's never met before, and suddenly he's involved in this lifestyle that he's not familiar with. And he's given all this. When it comes to the internet, you get rewarded for bad behavior, right? the worse you act out, the more likes you get, the more retweets, the more the blogs pick you up and so forth. So you put this combination of bad behavior, money, fame, violence, everything else like that together, and you just have this bomb waiting to explode, which ultimately happened.
I just feel like he was given too much too fast. Like, when he did start getting fame, he started getting money, notoriety, status, in a sense, in his head, power. Like, it was just too much.
How did you feel when Shadi got sentenced?
I mean, I felt sad for all of them. Like, at the end of the day, like I said, I felt sad for Crippy. He got shot like 3 times because of Danny. He has a shit bag, It's just like the men, there were very few men that were around us. And I think at least I've been around 3 of them that got sentenced. So it's just like, even the ones I didn't know, I feel sorry for them. I've either heard of them in passing, met them once, and they always made me feel like they had his best interests, like they were going to protect him. So, I mean, it's just a sad situation.
What was the situation over Crippy getting shot?
I think it was the situation at Philippe's, the shooting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, at Philippe Chow's. Oh, so he got shot. Okay, so over that altercation, Crippy got shot 3 times, and now he has a shit bag.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn. So it's just like everybody got the shit end of the stick regardless. So even if you were there for like seconds, there were people that were getting sentenced, at least that I've only seen him around maybe one time, like Kuda, or a few times like aside from the music, it's just like I've only had Kuda probably in the house like one time. So I don't know where they were naming different situations, that they did different things on that indictment. I don't care to get into it. That was my mistake last time.
Yeah. Now, I feel you. Okay, so then the trial happens, everyone gets sentenced, and then he gets out.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets out, did you guys communicate at all?
When he gets out, he's still on house arrest. I don't have any communication with him while he's on house arrest.
Okay, so he didn't see his daughter. You didn't bring him his daughter.
He came a day after he was released off a house arrest, and saw her one time, maybe twice. And then within that same week, TMZ posted that he reunited with his daughter. He apologized to me. He didn't apologize to me for anything. And that he's gonna be in his daughter's life. He hasn't seen the baby since the second time he seen her. So
how old is she now?
She's 6. She's gonna be 6 this year.
Okay, so she's talking and everything else like that.
But you gotta understand, he was never really present. He was already locked up for some time. He wasn't present the first 2 years of my daughter's life. Then the 1 year fame, he wasn't really present. He was never home. He wasn't present. And then the 1.5 years that he was locked up. So he's been out already a year, and he's only seen my daughter twice.
Okay, so he gets out, and he goes right back to being Tekashi again. Doesn't skip a beat. He drops videos. He's showing off all the money, and he starts dissing people once again. He starts beefing with people. He starts talking about people who are dead, and so forth. Did you say at one point, I think, that you felt like your life was in danger because of all the beef that he was doing?
Definitely. I had these Chicago rappers tagging. I had people tagging me in these Chicago rappers' lives and stuff like that. There was, I don't even know if you interviewed him before, but some guy, a Chicago rapper, he was saying that he was going to smack my daughter. I had King Von's sister say something about my daughter, but I've spoken to her. She DM'd me personally, and she apologized for it and everything. And I told her I understand, like, how she was pushed because he's continuing to talk about her dead brother. But you're not doing nothing to him by mentioning my daughter. He don't even look for her or care for her. So it's just like, she understood and we spoke. So, I mean, it's just, he gets into his own shit. I want it to be his shit, you know? I don't want it to involve me and my daughter, and I try to make that very clear.
Well, how many kids does he have right now?
He has 2, like, that I know of. He has my daughter, and he did have a baby as well. His other daughter was born, I think, the night he got indicted.
Huh. Okay. So have the kids met up at all? Or you and the baby mother met up?
No.
No? I mean, but that is your daughter's half-sister.
Yeah, of course. I'm not opposed to meeting up. It's just, me and the girl, we have, the history that we have is just, isn't, when it's good, and then whenever it's bad, it's bad. I'm just going to keep it like that. It's very up and down, flip-floppy. So I just never know with the person how open they are. But I'm not opposed to it. At the end of the day, her daughter is 2. Her daughter's still young. And my daughter is going to be 6. So, I mean, the girls have nothing but time to meet up.
Right.
It's just
right.
something that maybe in the future can happen. But I don't see the need for it right now. I have a lot personally going on, and I just feel like that's not what's important right now, at least to me.
Fair enough. Maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and at one point they're going to be old enough to, if they want to meet up with each other on their own, they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, but hopefully it won't have to come to the girls reaching out to each other.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay. And then, you know, while he was locked up, you know, Jade, you know, publicly came forward and, you know, claimed to be his girlfriend. She got the tattoo on her chest, which she ultimately got covered up. You know, how did you feel, though, as someone who's not getting, you know, let's not talk about money that he's giving you, but he's not giving money for the, you know, his own daughter. But, you know, here's this girl who just came around who is, you know, showing off a $250,000 range, you know, G-Wagon and, you know, all this jewelry and everything else like that. How does that make you feel like, yo, like my daughter needs help and here you are splurging on some new girl?
It used to infuriate me, but it's just like I let the universe handle them.
Okay. Well, like I said, she got the tattoo covered up, so I guess they're not together anymore.
I wouldn't know.
Okay. Have the two of you ever spoken or DM'd or anything?
I've never spoken to her personally. She might have tagged me in a story or said some slick shit underneath a photo comment, but I don't think she would ever bring herself to write to me personally or have anything to say to me personally.
Well, I feel you.
There's no need to.
Well, then in May of 2020, you showed up in a music video with Rich the Kid. Okay.
You make me nervous when you bring up dates.
Okay.
I had to think for a second. What is he about to say?
What's he about to say? Okay, Right. Well, Rich the Kid, he reached out to you and asked you to be in a music video. Is that what happened?
I think it was more so along the lines, him and my daughter's father had some words on the internet. He had just came out of house arrest and he was saying something about a watch. I don't know. He went on, did whatever he does on the internet, and him and Rich the Kid got into it. So I guess Rich the Kid thought it would be funny or cute for him to slide in my DM and wish me a happy Mother's Day. You know, I think it was Mother's Day that was all going on. So I said, thank you. You think you funny. And he was like, oh, do you want to come out in a music video? I'm like, I don't do videos. He was like, you don't have to do nothing, blah, blah, blah. I gave him my manager's number. He sent over some money. I met him, I think, in Queens. And we just like, I got into the Lambo. It was just some scenes me walking into the car and then walking out, and then one scene of me in the car. But little to my surprise, I don't care. I thought it was funny. I didn't care at the time for my baby father. At this point, he just got out of jail, talk shit about me in front of 2 million people. You know, it's just like, I was just over it. So I really didn't care how he felt. And at the end of the day, it was a paid job. So I did it. And Rich the Kid had his security, I guess, take a picture of me coming out the car. And that's what was posted. So then people ran with it. And I think he posted something. And I think I don't know if his wife or his fiance, I don't know what they are right now. I don't know if she felt some type of way because he deleted everything and he said something and he posted, long story short, he ended up later on that day posting nothing but his baby mama or his fiance. And then he wore a shirt that says she's for the streets because then later on Future jumped in to the conversation. So right. I'm like, bro, like, you just in hot water now with your baby mama for having me in your video, and probably she feels embarrassed on that you're posting me on your shit on the Shade Room trying to be funny to get back at him. Like, at the end of the day, we're all adults, and I get, like, it's the internet, but certain shit is still corny, you know? No matter whether it's in real life or on the internet. So it just turned into one of those situations. I don't know where the fuck Future came from. Like, you're fucking Future. Like, you shouldn't even be in this conversation. Why are you involving yourself? Like, it's actually really disappointing. You know, that you of all people want to be in the fucking cheeseman, like the gossip. Like, I was just thrown completely off.
Right, because Future made a comment. He said rappers are using baby mothers as props.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? So... And then...
It seemed like he was referring to you.
He definitely was referring to me because me and him were going back and forth.
Right. There you
go. Like, I didn't... That's not what I wanted to do. Like, it wasn't, I'm going to go tit for tat with him. But it's just... He kept on, so I'm just like, bro, is he serious? What the fuck did I do to him? Like, and then later on, I think that week he dropped his album.
Right.
He was posted for a few days on the Shade Room, going back and forth with me, and then it's just like, leave me alone. I don't know you guys personally. I don't know why you think it's fun to get at my daughter's father by getting at me, like saying some slick shit to me or trying to be funny. Literally it will save you guys so much more time because it literally has no effect on him.
I mean, if anyone should not be speaking about relationships or baby mothers, it is Future.
I said, like...
I mean, Future is the poster child of
and I've said that. When me and him were going back and forth, I'm like, you know, you're here saying I'm for the streets. At the time he was cuffing Lori Harvey hard. I'm like, bro, like, she dated Diddy's son. Like, the chick your wife in is like labeled streets. Like, why are you coming at me? Like, I didn't do nothing to you. Mind your business. So.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Future has 6 kids by 6 different women. 6 and 6. None of which that he's with. Let's just put that out there also. It's not like, okay, you know, these 5, I was still working it out, but, you know, but 6th one, you know, we're married and we're happily in a relationship. He's with none of them. In fact, I believe that the latest one, he refused to take a paternity test.
Yeah.
Right. So she got together with one of his other baby mothers, and they had a DNA test with their kids to prove that he's the father. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Another one that he rejects, because he be rejecting kids too out here.
Right. Right. I mean, I've interviewed Future before. It's been a while, but I'm just saying, like, if anyone needs to be quiet about this, it's probably Future.
I just let it blow with the wind at this point. I feel like anybody will say anything on the internet just to get posted, so.
Yeah. You know, because there was really, like, a lot of talk before Tekashi got out. And it was like, okay, can a rapper really be successful with the whole snitch, you know, persona and the whole, you know, snitch tag and everything else like that. But when Tekashi got out, he actually embraced the whole snitching thing. I mean, the first video, his head turns into a big mouse head. His album was called Tattletales. You know, he's actually like embracing the snitching thing.
That's weird. I wouldn't know anything about that. So, I mean, I wouldn't. That's different. I don't know.
I mean, you've seen it, though. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's hard not to see it when everybody's posting it, when he's doing it, so.
You know, one of the things that he's really held on to was that you and Shadi were in some type of relationship. And I think he even said that after the fact, after he got out. Mm-hmm. What is your take on that?
He's going to drive himself crazy. Like, if that's what he still believes in his head, I mean, God bless his soul. Like, at this, he's literally gonna hold on to that to the day he dies in his head. I don't know what other piece to give him. He just wants to stick with what he has. So,
do you think that he really believes it, or do you think, oh, I'm going to use this as an excuse
both
for telling on everyone?
Both. You know, when a person lies so much and they start to believe what they're saying, and it makes all the sense in the world to them and how they put it together and how they're telling it to people and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, right, because it's a lot easier to say that than to say, listen.
I just didn't want to do the time and I was scared.
Yeah. I don't want to be in prison because
I'm sorry,
I just don't want to be in prison.
Over. Like, but
so if I could tell on a bunch of people not to be in prison, then I'll just go ahead and tell on them. You know, because I just don't want to be in prison. Just like everyone else doesn't want to be in prison. So there you go. They offered me a deal to tell on everyone. I went above and beyond.
He wasn't going to let go of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. And it's like, okay, just self-preservation really is probably how he looks at it. Like, okay, I just don't want to be locked up. So they're giving me this out. And everyone else is not really cooperating. So I'm going to be the main cooperator. And I will tell them everything I know. And, you know, I've spoken to lawyers about this. He is not your typical, witness. He's like an exemplary. When he went above and beyond, he told them things that they weren't even asking.
Additional shit, yeah.
Yeah, he gave him he put other people in the mix. Trippie Redd got thrown into the testimony.
He mentioned Cardi, Jim.
Yeah, Jim Jones got thrown in. Like, it was just like they weren't even asking about these people. And it's like, oh, okay, by the way, let me give you some more information. Yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is at this point. Now, his ex-bodyguard, Shadow, ended up passing away.
Yeah.
And you guys were somewhat close?
Yeah, I was close to Shadow.
Okay. Well, how did he
Shadow
pass away?
had like a love-hate relationship. So I would my thing was Shadow was head in charge. So whenever I wasn't pleased that Danny was out somewhere or getting into some public beefs or like fights or anything like that, I would bitch at him. And I always had this thing are you not doing your job? But I just started realizing the more I started being around that they really have no control over this kid. They literally have to do everything he says. And if not, he makes it impossible for them to tell him no. So.
Well, he's paying them. They're his either employees or his contractors. At the end of the day, they're either going to do what he says or he's going to find someone else to do.
But Shadow ended up quitting after Dubai.
Okay, so what happened in Dubai with that situation?
After he had put his hands on me for 2 hours, And that following morning, I had went into the bathroom. He told me to fix my face. I had 2 big black eyes. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to fix this? I didn't bring makeup to Dubai to fucking cover black eyes. Like, this, what I have here is not going to cover this. This is crazy how I look. He went. He was like, send me everything you need to cover that up, and I'm going to go get it. He went to the mall. He took my phone. Shadow was staying in the room right next to us, so I called his room number. I said, are you busy right now? He said, no. I said, can I come next door? He said, yeah. As I was leaving the room, going next door, he already had room service in the room, so the door was open. And I told her, I just had my head down. He was like, what's wrong? I was like, tell them to leave. And they were already walking out, the room service people with the cart. And I looked up at him, and he saw my eyes. He saw my arm. He grabbed my arm. He was like, he did this to you? And I'm like, yeah, Shadow, I don't care what you do. You have to get me on the first flight home. I can't stay here. He's going to kill me with the way he's putting his hands on me. So he was like, go to your room, pack all your shit. And don't worry about it. I called my aunt who had came to Dubai with me. He had her staying on a different floor. And she came up to my room. She saw me, my body, and she ran downstairs, packed her stuff, came back in the room. And we just stood in the room waiting, like, to see what's going to happen next. And I hear Shadow outside my room door screaming. So I'm like, oh, shit. And then I just see Danny walks in and he goes, you snitched to Shadow? And he has like a smirk, but it's just like, yeah, bitch, you snitched to him? So I'm there scared. I'm like, oh, he's not going to put his hands on me in front of Shadow. So let's just see how this plays out. And you know that I didn't know because it was outside the door. I didn't know till after that Shadow texted me. I put my hands on him outside the door before he walked in. So that's what all that screaming was. And I was just like, oh, so after that, like 2 days after, I think Shadow gave him 2 days to see how he was acting with me. And then he just left. He said he had a funeral to go to. And after that, Shadow wasn't working with us. Like, I was hearing that he quit. So.
Well, he passed away, a month or 2 ago? And he was a fairly young guy.
He was like 40. Like, he wasn't 40. He was in his 40s, but.
Okay, I'm in my 40s. That's still young.
Like, it's just. Shit happens. I think he caught a heart attack or something. He died in the gym, I'm hearing. I don't know the full story. I think he was working out and he died in the gym.
Yeah, I wonder if he was, usually when that happens, a person's taking something. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying it's drug, recreational drugs, but maybe it was something for working out or, maybe it was.
Whether that was the case or not, I was around Shadow almost every day for a year. And whether he had that as an issue or a habit or whatever it is, it never showed. He was never sloppy with it. He never wore it. So it's just like, that still regardless has no effect on how I saw him and still see him as a person and, what he was and what he did for me. So.
How did you feel when you heard the news?
Oh, I was incredibly sad. I was more so in shock. He just got married and had a baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his son isn't even a year old. So that's why it was just like, wow. He seemed happy where he was at in life, So I just felt like I felt like he was robbed. It's just like, it felt like you were getting your whole life together. He had his business. He had, the Shadow Group, his security company. He had all of that. But as far as his home life, you saw it really coming together and flourishing because he had got married. You saw a lot of his personal life on social media as well. He always posted his wife. He always posted his kids.
Yeah, sad. I mean, rest in peace. I never got to meet him, but I definitely heard about him. Because he wasn't just doing security for Tekashi; he was doing security for a bunch of people.
Yeah,
yeah, for everybody. Yeah, yeah. I never booked him myself, but yeah, I heard about the guy. Sad. I mean, to die so young, especially after having a new kid. And was that his first child?
No, that was his fourth. I think that was his fourth kid, but it was just all his kids are older. They're like teenagers, so this was his first baby in a while.
Yeah. Sad. Okay. Well, I remember there was an article that I guess you were dating someone, but you felt that they were in a relationship with you for the clout.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think it was an article. It was an Adam 22 interview.
Okay, there you go. So there was a mention of it. So what was that about exactly?
I just felt like a person I was dealing with prior, like everything that was going around more so than how they liked me. So it's just like, or they weren't being so honest and forthcoming with their intentions with certain things. So it's just like, it was more so on the clout chasing side. So I just separated myself.
Okay. How long did that relationship last?
6 months.
Okay. So, I mean, that's kind of a while, that's enough time to get to know each other. But ultimately, do you want like a serious relationship? Do you want to have more kids? Do you want to get married?
I'm not thinking that far ahead. I'm just focusing on what I have going on right now. So I would stress myself out thinking about those type of things. More kids, marriage, all that extra shit. I'm just focused on my present, what I have going on now, what I'm working on now, the relationships that I have now. So it's just like friendships, all of that is just, that's what I'm focused on currently in my life at this point in time now.
Right. And you, in terms of things you're working on, you have a CBD line.
Yes. I'm working on, like I told you, I went through that whole ordeal with the fucking surgery. I was, like I said, imagine getting hit by a car and all the doctors giving you is ibuprofen. What the fuck is that gonna do for my body? My body is aching. It feels like someone took a pillowcase full of soap, just beat me over and over repeatedly on some of the most sensitive spots on my body. So it's just like I got into a lot of creams and stuff like that. So one cream that whenever I would do my massages, it was CBD infused. So I'm like, I asked the woman, I'm like, where do you guys sell this? It was in Colombia. She told me some market. I started like looking into it because at this point, this is all I wanted. Them to rub on my body for the massages because I felt like it helped me a lot. And it was because of the CBD extracts that were in the lotion as well. So I started going, when I came back home, I told Tashia, my manager, I was like, first thing I want to do when I get back is I know they're not going to have this cream over here. I'm going to have to order it and have it shipped to me. I want to work on doing something similar, but I want it to be full CBD. I don't want it to be arnica infused with CBD or anything. It's a full CBD cream. So she said, let me get on it. We start working. I started reaching out to different companies. I had a company reach out to me and I started collabing with them. I have gummies. I have lip balm. I have the serums, the oils, the mouth drops. What am I working on right now? I also have a edge control line coming out too. So, I thought that one is going to be more for the girls, the females, and it's going to be all ages. So you can even use it on your daughters, your son's hair, if you're braiding. So I'm excited to see how that takes off because a lot of people like how I do my edges. So I wanted to come out with that first, but I didn't think I was going to get surgery. So I ended up getting the surgery and coming out with the CBD first.
Well, I mean, you have a following, because of everything you went through and the drama. I mean, the one thing that did, the good side effect is that a lot of people knew about you. You have a following, you have a social media platform, and now you could actually use that to create products and sell them and, and so forth.
Yeah, it ain't all bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember I watched the interview you did with Adam 22 on No Jumper, and you said that you actually regretted doing the interview with VladTV. So why did you regret it?
I regretted it because at the time I was probably my most vulnerable. Like I said, I was coming out of a relationship that I was abused mentally, physically, emotionally. I was having all these things come out during the case that, like I said, this was my life and I didn't know all these things were like going on around me. I was still in shock. I was hurt. You know, it was a lot of things that, like I said, I wish I would have given myself more time before I did that interview because I didn't essentially have the best people around me to tell me, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that, or maybe you shouldn't say that. Maybe you shouldn't pick up that fucking stack of papers on the floor so suspiciously sitting right next to you. Like, nobody was around to tell me that type of shit, because if they were, that would have not happened. But like I said, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, those stack of papers essentially was the first time that the world found out that Tekashi was cooperating.
Yes, but I wish I would have, let me rephrase it. I wish I would have never read that stack of papers talking to you. You can't be mad when people are calling you the feds and you have an indictment on the floor. You have me in a room that's all white that looks like an interrogating room. Like, it was just bad. Like, I really regretted it because I felt like I caught a lot of backlash, you know. Oh, how could she read that indictment? You know, she's the worst baby mother ever. But they're not considering the fact that, like I said, I wasn't in the right space mentally, emotionally. I didn't make the best decisions and I didn't have the right people around me, you know, to let me know it's okay to say, no, I can't read that paper, you know. And I didn't know what exactly on that indictment you was going to have me read. I thought it might have been the domestic violence or something, you know? So it's just like, because he did plead guilty to that and it was on the indictment.
Well, the way I look at it, and everyone's going to view it, you know, differently, is that, you know, in terms of the backlash that you got, you can't really be mad at the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you read a false statement.
People don't like the truth. People can't handle the truth. You know, you got to understand that to a lot of 12-year-old boys that are attacking me, you know, he didn't do all the things that indictment is saying that he did. You know, it's just, it doesn't work that way on the internet. So I did receive a ton of backlash. And even from different rappers who wanted to put their 2 cents in, calling me horrible, like what kind of baby mother I am. But they're not taking into consideration what kind of baby father was he, you know? He beat me for 7 years. He openly speaks about it or has spoken about it on Channel 5 with Lisa Evers on the Shade Room where he's describing how he beat my ass. Like, you know, he cheated on me. He had a baby. He was with different women. Aside from putting his hands on me, not taking care of his daughter, like, you're looking at me like, what kind of baby mother am I? Because, you know, I ignorantly read an indictment when I shouldn't have. I'll be honest about that. But you're not looking at him for being horrible, even for the things that y'all know publicly, even being a snitch. Like, I just don't understand how it works. But nonetheless, like I said, the internet is going to be undefeated, so it makes no sense to go back and forth at all.
Well, look, like I said, what you read ended up being the truth, you know, within a couple of weeks. Like that. Yeah. And yeah, you know, you can't handle the truth is a famous quote from a movie, but at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. And you know, although there may have been some backlash from his fans, from little 12-year-old boys and so forth, the reality is I think most adults looked at this and said, oh shit, this guy is about to really cooperate and really about to put everyone under the bus. And, you know, ultimately the paperwork was real. You know, you are connected to him, obviously, you know, and, you know, I could stand behind that video and say, you know, we actually, you know, broke an important piece of information. which ended up being accurate and really kind of set the tone for everything else like that. You know, if I gave you a piece of paperwork which ended up being fake, then I would really feel bad about this type of thing.
I just wish I wasn't the person to read it. That's it.
Okay. Fair enough. And, you know, you talked about me in the interview. You said you got this.
Yes, I was very open about how set up I felt, Vlad. You don't understand. I was like, that fucking nigga, Vlad set me up. He had me read that shit. It was a whole stack on the floor. Do you believe that? Like, I was so mad. The defendant's obligation under this agreement are as follows: that he shall truthfully and completely disclose all information of the activities of himself and others to the U.S. Attorney's Office, that he will cooperate fully with the New York City Police Department, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Homeland Security investigations, and other law enforcement agencies.
Can I keep it 100 right now?
Go ahead.
We got that paperwork. We didn't just find that paperwork ourselves.
I know, and I was, like I said, I didn't necessarily have people being as vocal and saying the things that they should have had said to me. So, like I said, either way, it was still public information. But, hey, can you, like, pick up that stack of papers and read it? Was like, it was out there. It was a stretch compared to just sending you public documents that are public to read and go over. Like, it's different. You had them all, you had the whole shit printed on the floor.
Right. But what I'm saying is that whoever was working with you to help book that interview provided that paperwork for us.
Speaking points, I guess, yes, because I was coming forward, but nonetheless, it was never put out there that, oh, hey, you think I can have you read this? Like, no, it was, I felt on the spot. I didn't have the people around me to say, you don't have to read that if you don't want to, you know?
Right.
Like, this was you interviewing me that first time was the first time I've ever gotten an interview. You know? I'm a little bit more seasoned now, but it's just like, I was completely, like I said, at that point, just over everything. I wasn't there, like mentally, physically, emotionally. I felt, like I said, in a way, desensitized with a lot of things. So I fought myself for not even saying, like, yo, this is funny, you know? Like, maybe I shouldn't read it, but like I said, nonetheless, it is what it is. It happened.
Yeah. Well, like I said, when the people who we're booking the interview with are giving us this paperwork before the interview with you, and it's coming from your people, I don't feel like there was any, you know, I assumed you knew what it was also. You see what I'm saying? The fact that your people didn't tell you that they're giving us this paperwork and we use the paperwork, I can't feel bad about giving you the paperwork, right? I mean...
But who does that? Hey, can you read that paperwork? Like, I didn't think that was a thing. Honestly, I don't know many people to have indictments sitting on the floor for people that they interview.
Well, I mean, we're also the biggest hip hop YouTube channel in the world. I mean, we got to where we are by breaking news and,
but like
asking
I said,
doing the things that other people don't.
You enormously. Like, it benefited. The numbers were good. The numbers was really good. I woke up, I'm like, it's over 1 million and it's only been up like 16 hours, like less than 24 hours is over 1 million views. I think it was just a clip. It wasn't even the full fucking interview. So I'm like, all right, look, we're going to see how this shit goes. And then after that interview, that's when I started realizing, oh yeah, I fucked myself. Like, I read that. So now it's like snowballing into something where now I'm this horrible person.
Well, I don't think you're a horrible person.
I don't think so either. I don't care.
I wasn't trying to make you look like a horrible person. Like I said, we were provided this information from your people, and I felt like, okay, it'd be powerful to actually have her actually read it, because I would assume that you already knew what it was.
It didn't translate.
Okay, well, way. I mean, I can see where things got mixed up a little bit. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it ended up being the truth. And no matter what you do, good or bad, people are going to attack you for it. This is just the nature of the internet.
But at that time, I didn't know. So you could tell me that now and I'll understand it completely. I'll get, like, if I was to read that paperwork now with where I'm at, I would get why people are saying what they're saying. At that time, I'm like, I'm not understanding why they're mad at me. He told me to read it. I didn't think it was anything bad. I'm like, damn. I fucked up.
It's all good. It's all good. You know, but here you are back again. So clearly, you know, you weren't that mad at me. Or maybe you are. I don't know.
I don't know. It's still up in the air.
It's still up in the air. The jury's still out.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Well, Sara, listen, you know, you went through a lot and, you know, you're still having to go through it, unfortunately, but it seems like you're a very strong person. It seems like you're using some of the lemons in your life to make lemonade. You know, you're starting your own businesses. You know, you're taking control of your body, you know, and if, you know, you're going and doing what makes you happy, ultimately. Because it doesn't seem like you're doing this for a man. It seems like you're doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
Which I think is the important part. You have a beautiful daughter and, you know, it seems like you're a great mother. You know, and you have someone who loves you unconditionally. And, you know, I think at some point, you know, based on what I know about the legal system, I think that Tekashi's going to have to pay all the back child support.
Of course he is. But like I said, I let the universe handle them and I don't speak too much, so. That's
right. The universe will eventually handle it and, you know, that'll help her life out, you know, in terms of her schooling and everything else like that. And her quality of living, because it should be at the same level that he's living his life. I mean, that's the whole point of child support, is that if you're a millionaire, your kids shouldn't be living in a shack somewhere. They should have a similar type of lifestyle that you have, which I think is completely fair. You know, I've always been pro child support and making sure that a woman gets what it is that she deserves, because ultimately, you know, it is almost always the woman who is raising the child when there's a breakup. You know, like, you know, you hardly ever see women abandoning their kids or walking away or anything else like that. And it seems like you've taken motherhood very seriously, you know, and it seems like you have a bright future ahead of you. So I appreciate you coming back in, even after all the drama last time.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best.
I appreciate you for having me, Vlad.
Okay. Until next time. Peace.